Nothing special.
You can challenge better opponents now, but we'll gladly play you again if you wish.
How can I help?
I want to play dice.
I could use some coin. Shall we play now? You've lost. How can I
want to play.
I could use... You've won.
Who can I play next?
My apprentice. She's a mere learner in magic, but she's a true master in dice.
Yes.
Let's play.
Shall we? You fully deserve...
Who else can I play?
The incredible Lockhart.
Sounds arrogant. Where do I find him?
Somewhere around the market, most likely.
Thanks.
Trickster. It's you!
Does the name Brigida Papabrock ring any bells?
Rings bells, sets off whistles. Why? I believe my loins have grown warm. Touch my plums, touch my plums.
Excuse me.
Fruit Witcher. Fruit of the south. Tender, juicy, soft on the exterior. That's what I think of when you mention Dame Brigida. The woman is positively obsessed.
I was hoping for a straighter answer.
A man of your experience surely understands what I mean.
So you admit you know her well?
I know her, I have known her, and I expect I yet will, and I'm not alone in that. Though, mind you, I admire the woman. Her kind of ambition is rare among both genders.
Ever taken advantage of that? Ever asked her to run errands for you?
One must be careful with the ambitious. They are almost always running their own errands. Asking them to do yours simply invites them to use you. Baron Kimbolt learned that the hard way. But why ask me about the lass, here and now of all times and places? Surely, given your close allegiance and, no doubt, many a shared drinking binge, Commander Roach has told you all.
Commander Roach can be strangely discreet. What do you know?
I'm hardly one to tell another man's secrets.
Indulge me.
If you must know, the rascal wrote Rogered our dear Brigida just before he passed her off onto me, among others, with a purpose in mind, I suspect.
He'll be interested to hear what you had to say.
My, aren't we dutiful?
Brigida used Baron Kimbolt?
Continues to, I surmise.
To what end?
You cannot expect me to answer every little query that pops into your mind, Witcher.
What's so urgent, Count?
Etiquette is not your enemy, Witcher. It would not hurt you to embrace it at times. In any case, I could not help noticing you circulating in and out of Baron Kimbolt's quarters. Yet I wonder if you are fully aware of the kind of man you serve.
What do you mean?
He cuts a fine figure, doesn't he? The heavy cloak, the silver mane, the booming voice. Yet our worthy Baron is hardly the saint he makes himself out to be.
A lot of that going around recently.
I am in possession of certain information that might interest you.
Mm-hmm. And you want to share it because?
We come from different worlds, Witcher. On the surface, we are as unlike as wraiths and wyverns. Yet, no matter our preferences, culinary, political, erotic, ultimately we both are interested in and tirelessly seek one and the same thing: the truth.
You can talk, Count. I'll grant you that. But I'm not convinced you can be trusted. Baron Kimbolt also offered me the chance to learn a certain truth. I don't think I need to say who about.
And you are certain that Kimbolt can be trusted?
So far, all the Baron's words have proved true.
Well, then I merely ask that you verify mine. You are not the sole person to have repeatedly visited our kind-hearted Baron recently.
Doesn't seem strange to me, given the time and the place.
He has also had some more troublesome callers, blackmailers to be specific. Now, I'm not handing down any verdicts. Perhaps the Baron has some personal problems, in which case I would very much like to help him.
Get to the point, Count.
My people have learned where these blackmailers are encamped. I assume Baron Kimbolt has not been sitting on his hands and has also dispatched his huntsman to find them. A horrible man.
I know who you mean. Ran into him in Kimbolt's quarters.
Then you must also know that if you do not make haste, nothing will be left of our blackmailers, save some rotting corpses. I shall show you where they have their camp, and I merely ask that you learn what is at issue. Naturally, you can count on my gratitude, though we both know that is not the greatest reward.
I can't promise you anything, Count, but I'll think about it. Farewell.
Fool, I find no other term for you. Did you think I could let you go with that information? I truly regret it had to end this way. Witcher? Witcher!
Forgive me, Count. I lost my train of thought. I'd like to talk.
Is a witcher a kind of sorcerer?
How are things?
You're either very unobservant of... I thought I'd meet some of my colleagues from years past, chat with them and reminisce, but they all turn their heads away and treat me like air.
Mages aren't known for being polite.
You're telling me. They threw me out of Banard the first chance they got. Must have beaten the Chancellor one too many times. They've all forgotten me and I believe I've had enough. I'm getting rid of the grimoires and amulets. I don't want anything to do with mages.
I'd like to cast an eye at those if you don't mind.
Sure. Cast both if you want.
I'd like to play dice poker.
Want to play now? The incredible Lockhart, they call me. Incredibly undefeated.
I'd like...
The incredible Lockhart, they call me. Incredibly...
I'd like...
The incredible... The incredible...
How are things?
You're either very unobservant or very rude. Come back for a game sometime. You just ended a lifelong winning streak.
And you owe me some coin, or you can pay in kind.
What's your preference?
Show me what you got.
I can give you runes to enhance your sword, an element that'll reinforce your armor, or one of the designs from my collection.
I'll take the...
Fine choice.
place this one be?
Renounce magic, I tell you!
What do you want?
I saw you talking to Kimbold.
I'm free to go where I please and talk to whoever I please.
Couldn't agree more. Now you're here and you'll talk to me. I'm interested in the Baron.
I've naught to say to you.
Not good, because I need to know everything you know about him.
Baron Kimbold sends his regards. Oh, just what we needed. Leave us, Witcher.
Since when does a Witcher take orders from a huntsman?
Since that Witcher stopped hunting monsters and started poking his nose into others' affairs.
Sometimes the stench is so strong you can't help but catch a whiff.
Aye, well spoken. You've some common stinking thugs here, and I'm to teach them some humility. A ponce like you? Pucker up and kiss my arse, you fucking tulip! These folk have nothing to say to you, understand?
I'll be the judge of that.
Lend us a hand, Witcher. You'll not regret it.
I'll need to know everything about Kimbold.
God, this is shit! Enough of your jabbering! Kill them all!
Never seen anything like that in my
Thanks, Witcher. We'd be corpses if not for you.
Yeah, seems likely. Now don't make me regret helping you.
You're welcome to all we know about Kimball.
I'm all ears.
We came here to collect our fee, me and me brothers, for a favour we did the Baron.
What did you do for him?
Spent 4 days in a forest, sitting on our asses.
Baron Kimbold wanted to pay you for that?
Course not. We was to destroy some wagons in a caravan that was to pass through Millville. Problem is, caravan never came round.
I can see why you're having trouble collecting.
Kimball had shite information. How is that our fault? That bugger lost us a right lot of time. And you know what they say, time is coin.
What exactly were your orders?
We was to watch the high road for a caravan carrying nobles. 2 coloured wagons and a small escort. The wagons, they was ours. All inside was to perish.
Any idea who was supposed to be in the wagons?
2 high-born young'uns and their nannies. That's all the Baron told us.
Willing to tell Natalis all this?
I'm to fess up. They draw and quarter me.
You didn't do anything. Took a job, that's it. They can't prove you actually wanted to complete it. If you refuse, Kimbold wins. He'll squirm his way out of this, but it won't end there. The Baron's got gold enough to hunt you till he hunts you down.
Not likely. I'll see them tear stripes off his back with hot pincers. All right, I'll talk to Natalis.
The White Wolf? I can't believe it.
Greetings.
Greetings!
Nigbit. Nigbit. Nigbit.
Welcome, Chosen One.
Who are you?
The Ancients vested my soul with the task of operating their most prized artifact as a means of rewarding those proclaimed Chosen Ones.
How exactly does the artifact work?
It allows me to rectify certain errors of the past and enhance the skills of the Chosen One to render him closer to how he would wish to be. However, remember, all things in nature have their price, and this price varies. Are you ready? Welcome, Chosen One.
Who are you?
The ancients vested my soul with the task of operating their most prized artifact as a means of rewarding those proclaimed Chosen Ones.
No one's proclaimed me a Chosen One.
Foolish of you to admit it. You are an intruder deserving of punishment. You must die.
Guess they'll never learn.
Leave the royal courts.
What ingredient? I'll need the pheromones of a Queen Endriga, the blood of a Necker warrior, and the brain of a Bulvor. We can substitute the tongue of a rot fiend for the harpy's egg.
Quite a list.
To repent. Flog
going
your
somewhere.
lecturer's bodies, but not one.
Trickster.
Roach may trust you, but I'm not so sure. What do you want?
Representatives of the Council of Regents. Did any come with you?
Only Baron Kimbolt and Count Marival. The other 5 remain in Vizima. It seems that save Baron Orval, most spend their time trying to devise a way to undermine Anais's claim to the throne.
Kimbolt and Marival. What's their stance?
Well, they've taken opposing positions, as one might expect. The Baron believes Anais's origin, if you will, stands in the way of her taking the throne, though it's common knowledge that he would simply prefer to seat himself on it. Whereas Marival has said that Foltest's children have his full support. He stated this in Vizima before the entire council. One thing is certain, words come cheap. Those two may change their minds in a flash if Anais is found and recovered.
Impressive summit, but not all the players have their representatives here.
The most important do. The mages thought about inviting everyone, but time is short.
What about Edirn? It's a huge country.
Torn by conflict and rebellion with no clear ruler. They're not to be taken seriously at this point.
Sounds like the Kedweni point of view. The Edirnians see it differently, I'm sure. The mages will want to get as much as they can out of this summit, and monarchs don't generally like others dictating terms. This may end in a row.
There will be no row. The mages now rely on the mercy of the northern kingdoms. The amphitheater itself is also protected by an anti-magic shield, like the one used at Thanid. The times of mage impunity are gone. They will be shown their place.
There's a traitor among the Temerians.
Careful, Witcher. You'd better have evidence if you plan to accuse someone of treason.
Busi and Anais.
Yes?
Count Marival outright betrayed Temeria, while Baron Kimbolt planned to murder Foltest's children.
Those are serious charges.
Kimbolt hired some thugs to do the wet work for him. I found them, and one's ready to testify. They never got the job done because the convoy carrying the children changed course, only to fall into an ambush set by Marival. The Count wanted to hand Anais and Busi over to the Nilfgaardians. You'll find the proof in this letter. Busi's death was an accident.
Dark clouds gather over Temeria. I cannot arrest them both. Their contingents are among the largest in Loch Muin, and I cannot risk mutiny by their men. Thank you, Witcher. You did well to bring this matter to my attention. I only hope Baron Kimbolt will agree to stand with me. So you see, Baron, I have learned all, and it makes me sick to think about it. However, you may count yourself fortunate, for we've a greater problem to deal with. You shall provide me with your full support as we arrest Count Marival.
This plea sounds more like a threat to me, Constable.
It is no plea, it is an order, and yes, a threat. Refuse, and the Council of Regents shall receive ample evidence of your crime, of your wish to slay the children for whom our king gave his life.
What are your terms, Natalis?
Upon returning to Vizima, I shall destroy the evidence against you. Prior to that, however, I expect your unconditional support.
How can I be certain you will do as you pledge?
My word still means something, unlike yours, you lying, rotting son of a whore.
So be it. But heed this, Constable. Do not try to cross me.
Is a witcher a kind of sorcerer? Trickster. It's you! Run up!
the owl and the rat. Likewise. Swiving son of a cunt! His cocksucking motherfucking majesty!
Excuse me?
Oh, pardon me, sir, I meant no offence.
You're leaving the deliberations. Why?
Henselt! He's to all Edirn, we're to live in a Kedwenny yoke! Scandalous.
No one opposed him?
None! Radovid drools for Temeria, and will let that lout have anything in exchange. The North will never be the same again. I must return home. Farewell.
Roach had murder in his eyes. He wanted blood and couldn't care less that it was royal, that this was what Letho would have wanted. The death of a king is the triumph of chaos, civil war, famine, fear among common folk, a time of disdain. That is the only reason Henselt remains alive and Kedwen grows stronger. Thousands of Kedwennies live better lives because their ruler is an amoral, ruthless son of a bitch who stands above the law.
Constable John Natalis.
Interex John Natalis. He is magic.
Witcher. So, even the Nilfgaardians have graced us with their presence.
We're about to witness a great event.
Yeah, I can't wait. Let's go inside.
It's now or never.
Whether you like it or not, John Natalis, Temeria will be divided.
For the good of the entire North.
The united forces of Kedwen and Redania will end the fighting among the Elder Houses and secure peace from Gorsvelen to Elendar.
Temeria has yet to speak its last.
Vernon Roach, commander of your fallen King's Special Forces, was responsible for today's massacre in the Kedwenny camp.
Has he been captured?
He fled. Our people are on his trail.
Lesser incidents have culminated in war, Constable.
Roach acted on his own behalf.
This illustrates precisely why Temeria cannot be left to fend for itself. The result would be anarchy and chaos.
To the matter at hand. The document describing the charter of the Council and the Conclave is, as previously ascertained, an exact copy of the charter found in the ruins on Thanet Island. The more important question relates to the Conclave and its power to designate royal advisors. Today, randomly chosen mages and sorceresses reside at many courts. However, in the time of the previous Conclave, such persons were carefully chosen.
Why shouldn't we pick our own advisors?
These individuals bear great responsibility, Your Majesty. The Conclave needs to be certain they are competent.
And that they will keep the Conclave's interests in mind.
Obviously, sire. The Conclave's chief interest is the well-being and prosperity of the Northern Kingdoms. The document has been signed by every member of the Conclave we have proposed, as well as by all but one of the designated advisors. We await only Sheila de Tanseville's signature.
Without our royal seals, you should be allowed to designate advisors to cowherds at most.
That is true, Your Majesty.
Sheila de Tanserville should never be allowed to sign this document.
Triss Merigold, you decided to join us after all.
De Tanserville has royal blood on her hands. She can't sit on the Conclave.
That is a lie.
Have you anything to support these claims, Merigold?
There are witnesses who will confirm that Sheila de Tanserville was behind the assassinations of Demavend and Foltest.
Officials of the future Council and Conclave. Sheila de Tanserville should be arrested and tried. If Triss Merigold speaks the truth, Lady de Tanserville will be condemned to death.
Sheila de Tanserville, until Triss Merigold's charges are dismissed or refuted, you cannot sit on the Conclave.
Arrest her.
You don't know the whole truth. Merigold doesn't know what she's talking about. While you can, Witcher. You can't stop me, not you, not anyone else. If I have to, I will kill you. How do you like my dragon? Kill him now! You're late. I've already managed to stabilize the portal.
You've got nowhere to run. Sooner or later, somebody will find you.
I prefer to leave on my own terms.
Where's Letho?
Synthesis will tend to him, as she will to all the fools who get a hard-on at the mere thought of burning a sorceress at the stake.
Where is he?
I don't know, fool. I've been looking for him since Foltest's assassination. Letho cheated all of us. We were deceived by his dull face and sluggish stare. Don't you understand? The Lodge sought a way to get rid of Demavend, that's true. He was a weak, volatile king. Edirn would eventually choke to death under his rule. We chose the lesser evil. He had to be eliminated, and Letho happened to be at hand.
Foltest? Henselt?
We had nothing to do with that. After assassinating Demavend, Letho used our gold and magical support to find and meet Yorveth. The elf was to help him hide until the matter blew over, or so I thought. The Lodge did not condemn Foltest to die.
Then who did?
Nilfgaard. Letho is the king of liars and emperor of traitors. From the start, he worked for the glory of the great sun and the white flame dancing on the graves of his foes. He lied to everyone. Me, Yorveth, your stupid little Triss, and you.
Got any evidence?
A moment ago, I received a message from the Lodge's agent in Sintra. The Imperial Army is on the move. They're fording the Yaruga now. Do you think the North can defend itself in the current situation? And can you count on another miracle at Brenna?
I don't know. But you made it all possible, and you'll answer for that. The stigma of treason is yours for all time.
We shall see. For no one will leave this city alive. No one will tell this story. Philippa controls the dragon. As soon as I disappear, it will turn the city into a flaming tomb.
The dragon attacked Foltest's troops during the siege of Lavalette Castle. That hardly supports your tale.
We did not control it then. We may have lost a battle, but the war is just beginning. You, however, shall not take part in it. This is your end, Witcher.
Farewell! Something's not right. The diamond! Someone replace the diamond! This one's flawed, I'll be torn to bits! Geralt, remove it!
You waited long enough. Should you survive, go south to Nilfgaard, where you'll find Yennefer of Vengerberg. Farewell, Witcher.
that.
Are you alright?
More or less.
And the dragon?
I had to kill it, unfortunately.
Unfortunately?
Philippa enslaved the dragon with her magic. If I'd let it live, we'd surely find it serving the Lodge of Sorceresses. Many more would have died. Before the sorceresses broke the creature's will, it was noble and beautiful in its own way. But I'm dead tired of having to choose the lesser evil.
Let's get out of here.
I guess Letho got away.
He's waiting for you.
Waiting?
Where the Temerians made camp. Come on.
What do you mean, waiting? How do you know?
Utter chaos broke out after the dragon attacked. I tried to reach Philippa's quarters. A terrified man approached me in one of the alleys, gave me a letter and begged me not to harm him. He said it was for you. The letter was short. I'm waiting in the Temerian camp. Letho.
What happened here while I was gone?
All the kings had many more armed men than they should have had at a peace summit. During the evacuation, several skirmishes broke out. The Kedwenis clashed with the Temerians. The Order's knights raped 2 sorceresses and killed those who dared try to help them.
Do you think the Council and Conclave will survive?
Well, they're established, and that's the only thing that prevented a wholesale massacre. Hard to say if they'll survive, but for the time being, no one's got any better ideas. Mages are part of this world, whether people like it or not. They have to have their rights, their place. Otherwise, another lodge will arise.
Vernon Roach, step away from the child.
She's of royal blood. Temerian. Too good for you, Horsens.
You're an outlaw, wanted in all the north. Hand over the child and perhaps the king will show you mercy.
I piss on Kedweni mercy.
Roach!
Triss! We can't let them have her! This is Foltest's daughter!
I've heard enough! Grab them!
The king!
I failed. Deathmold got away. Thanks, Geralt.
Triss needed my help. You know that. The Nilfgaardians outwitted us all.
What are you talking about?
They kidnapped Triss. The Emperor dispatched the Kingslayers using the Lodge as a decoy, all in order to breed chaos in the northern kingdoms.
Temeria is lost. Radovid and Henselt will divide it between them. They've signed the relevant treaty.
It's not lost. Temeria will be reunited. Get the child out of here. Take her far away, far from the kings, their courts, and their wars. One day, she'll reclaim her heritage.
What about you, Geralt?
I'm going after the Kingslayer.
A man of his word.
It's personal now.
Farewell then, White Wolf. I trust we'll meet again in better times.
Farewell, Roach. Where's Yorvith? How's Yorvith?
Proud, I think. The reward on his head has never been greater. Those seeking him, the Scoia'tael hunters, will be reinforced. The special forces throughout the north will receive more resources. The Council and the Conclave are assigning several mages to the task. Yorvith is now public enemy number 1. They won't rest until they find him.
This is no place for witches. Though I know you, and you appear wherever something important happens.
True, though sometimes by accident.
And this time, also a coincidence?
Let's say I have something to take care of.
In that case, hurry. Once we're done cleaning up this mess created by the royal soldiery, Loch Muin will be magically sealed.
Getting out of here?
Temporarily. We shall return soon enough to rebuild the city. Loch Muin will regain its former glory. Until that time, we need to keep the treasure hunters and troublemakers out.
So Radovid trusts you?
We shall win His Royal Majesty's trust by delivering Sheila de Tanserville and the other traitresses from the lodge.
That could take a while. Sheila's fled Loch Muin via megascope.
We have time. She cannot hide forever. Sooner or later, she will be ours. Forgive me, I must attend to some matters. And don't dawdle. The city will be sealed in 1 hour.
There he is.
Wait for me.
Geralt.
I don't want you to get hurt.
I can take care of myself.
Not this time. I need to talk to him alone. Wait for me at the city gate. If I'm not there within the hour, leave without me.
Took you a while?
Is that bauble from Sheila's megascope?
Mm-hmm. My final prank. I switched the diamonds. The one in the megascope has a flaw. Minute. But just large enough to warp the teleport. The Emperor's magic theorists assured me the effect would be spectacular.
I let her escape.
You're heartless. You've no idea what the royal witch hunters have in store for her. A lot of pain for a long time.
I don't doubt it. So, ready to lay your cards out on the table?
No matter the game, there comes a point when all the players need to show their cards. I love that moment. But first, vodka.
I suppose my throat's a little dry.
In that case, let's drink to old friendships. Recovered your memory yet?
Not entirely.
Remember how we first met?
Yeah. I saved your life. Couldn't think of a nicer way to pay me back?
Frankly, I couldn't. I mean, taking care of another man's woman, Yennefer. I can't fathom what you saw in her, but I suppose there's no accounting for taste.
The winter solstice, 1270. Midinvern, the night of magic. Letho wasn't lying, the hunt had stopped. At the Hanged Man's Tree, the spectral riders selected from among those they had taken. Yennefer was among them. A wraith cannot be killed, only driven away. Every witcher knows that. Yet the riders fell beneath the blows of our witcher's blades. Crimson blood flowed from under their dead men's armor. We could not kill them all. They were simply too many. A stalemate. He was different from all other elves. There was no shame in his gaze. He had never suffered persecution. He had endured no massacres. Humans had not taken his land. This elf was not of this world. He was an invader. We struck a deal. My soul for that of Yennefer. He agreed without hesitation.
Back with me, friend. Got the feeling you left for a minute.
Memories. I remember the Hanged Man's Tree and the Wild Hunt. I remember the exchange. Me for Yennefer.
So, cards out on the table. Unless you chase me all that way just to kill me.
I chased you for lots of reasons. You owe me some explanations to start with.
Let's say I do.
Tell me about Yennefer. What happened after I departed?
She was feverish for several days. Delirious. In agony. We thought that was it. She was on her way out. Somehow she recovered. But even then she was disoriented. Amnesia like you.
What then?
Well, the woman turned out to be quite a character. Throwing temper tantrums. Trying to seduce orcs. Trying to drive a wedge between us. After you so nobly sacrificed yourself, we thought it'd be dumb just to leave her somewhere. She wouldn't have survived more than a month. The whims and vigor of a duchess, but she was just a sorceress with no memory. We were in the heart of the Empire. And as I'm sure you know, Geralt, in Nilfgaard, mages who behave like that either drop their bad habits quickly, or are drawn and quartered by horses in the middle of Victory Square.
So I heard.
So we set out, wandered through the provinces. Everywhere we went, she got in trouble and we pulled her out. And then one day they captured us. The Imperial Secret Police. Me, Ox, Serret, and Yennefer.
Imperial Secret Police?
Mm-hmm. We were separated, and they questioned us. Long and thoroughly, but it was uneventful, no violence. That's how I met Vatia de Rideau, and a couple of weeks later, the Emperor himself. Me. A simple witcher.
What happened to Yennefer?
I don't know. Never saw her again. The Emperor offered me a mission in the northern kingdoms. As for Yennefer, I had the feeling she was somehow important to Emir. As I see it, they learned of the Lodge from her. Those Imperial spooks have their ways. All I heard is that Vatir had his men watch Yennefer closely throughout the time she was at the palace. Then we went off to slay the kings of the north. And that's where my knowledge ends.
So she's in the Empire?
She was when I left.
How did you know where we'd find the Wild Hunt?
Every witcher who wears the viper around his neck knows the place. We had so many books and scrolls about the hunt that I used to think our school was founded for the very purpose of solving the riddle of the spectral riders.
Know who they are? You know the true identities of the riders?
From what I understand, they're some damn elven race. But they turned out to be a big ruse. The legendary Omen War proved to be a fairground attraction.
No Market Square mage could possibly conjure up a cavalcade of wraiths speeding across the sky. Then there's the amnesia. No, there's something more, I assure you.
Go ahead, enlighten me. I can tell you want to.
There are a lot of legends and myths about it, but the Wild Hunt is a fact. I've fought and killed many of its wraiths. They were spectral emanations, the avatars of real riders. The riders we ran into by the Hanged Man's Tree.
Are you telling me you were carried off by elves? Real material sons of bitches like the ordinary kind we deal with in this world?
They may be ordinary in their world, but they're strangers in ours. The conjunction of spheres, know the theory. Do you know how monsters appeared in our world?
There's not a witcher who doesn't know that.
So you know there are other spheres. The most powerful of our mages can open passages between these worlds, and they usually do that to summon the monsters we then have to hunt. The elves we saw come from another world, and they weren't summoned. They found the way on their own. It's not exactly easy, so they usually send their spectral emanations. They come in person on special missions.
As they did for you and Yennefer. So, elves from another world and their trained wraiths. What do they want from you?
I've got an idea, but that's not your concern. How did a witcher agree to kill humans at another human's bidding?
At the Emperor's bidding, Geralt. And he's no ordinary human. The rulers of the North come up to about where his Pauline's end.
Why?
Simple. He promised to rebuild the School of the Viper, the Witcher's Order where I came to be. Witcher's schools in the South fell into ruin long ago, and Witchers themselves became internal exiles, banned from entering most cities. Besides Seret and Ox, I know of 2 other Witchers of the School of the Viper who should be alive and on the path. I don't know where they are. Haven't seen them for years. Now they can come out of hiding. They can come home.
Why are you still here? Why did you wait for me this time?
I knew you wouldn't give up. I knew you'd pursue me. And I don't aim to hide anymore. Fact is, only you know the truth about me. Well, and a couple of folks whose word isn't worth spit anymore. I never saw you as a foe. I want to go my way, but if I have to fight you first, so be it. This story ends here and now.
Care to tell me what it was all about?
Kill as many rulers as we could. Lay the blame on the sorceresses. Breed chaos. Prepare the North. Soften it before the invasion. And you know what's incredible? We could not have imagined more fertile soil. No matter what the war's outcome, the northern monarchs will accuse one another. Pursue their God-given rights. Seek vengeance and be at each other's throats for years to come. The North resembles a whorehouse on fire, as your friend Dandelion would say.
How did you manage to contact Sheila?
It wasn't a problem once I learned of the Lodge's existence. Initially, she watched my every move. But sooner or later, everyone starts treating me like a big oaf. I mean, I can't change how I look. I stayed close to Sheila, killed a few beasts for her, and whined about how unhappy I was, how unfair the world was. So much, in fact, that I actually got her gander up a few times. I made sure a few potentially trustworthy witnesses saw us together, could link us. Security in case I was captured. I also prepared to assassinate the King of Kavir. Esterad Tyson was to be the first victim of the mysterious assassins. But before I could do the dirty deed, Sheila asked me to slay Demavend. The gods had smiled upon me. I couldn't believe my luck. Here I've been trying to figure out how to frame Sheila, and now all I needed was to carry out her orders and follow through.
Where'd you get your information about the Lodge?
From the Emperor and Vatir de Rideau, the Emperor's chief spy. And I believe they got it out of Yennefer.
She recovered her memory?
Nah. I'd never claim she informed on her friends consciously. I expect they found a way to tap into her memory in spite of her amnesia, and without her knowing it. There was a sorcerer present when I was questioned. A young, proud intelligence officer. Whatever the case, they gave me a list of the sorceresses in the lodge. Only Emir, Vatir, and I were present. Only we knew of the mission.
How do you manage to slay Demavend?
Sheila's magic. I mean, she could give us the king's every move. His habits, the positions of the palace guards, anything. All we had to do was navigate the labyrinth and land the final blow. Besides, she had plenty of gold for the preparations. Greased palms abundantly. It had all the makings of a cakewalk. But it's never that easy. We barely avoided our pursuers. And we wouldn't have if not for Yorveth Scoia'tael, another of Sheila's ideas. With Yorveth's elves, not only did we cut down Demavend, but traveling with them put us out of the lodge's reach. We could calmly plan Foltest's and Henselt's assassinations.
How did you know Foltest would come to the monastery solar?
Yorveth and I planned Foltest's murder. The king of Temeria would have to deal with the Lavalette sooner or later, and he made no secret of it. I was sure he'd want to recover his bastard children in the process. And where do they take the children when a castle's under siege? I had to become a monk, but I couldn't just arrive at the monastery and claim I'd see the light. Not very believable. So one of Arion's patrols out in the forests happened on a Scoia'tael unit torturing a helpless monk. Arion's brave men drove off the elves and I found shelter in the monastery.
No one noticed you had no wounds?
I paid the monk who treated me a lot of orange to stay silent. Actually, it was only a loan, because I killed him later. Only the dead can keep a secret. Then all I had to do was wait for the situation to develop. When I saw you enter the chamber with Foltest, I thought I might fail. Luckily, you failed. To recognize an old friend.
When did you decide to get rid of Yorveth?
As soon as I realized I couldn't manipulate him. A true fox, that one. He was so observant, so dangerous. I got the sense he might see through me at any moment.
You made a mistake. You were untouchable as long as the Scoia'tael were protecting you.
Maybe, but with Yorveth, my hands were tied. If I'd finished off Kieran...
But you didn't. And that allowed me to drive a wedge between you and Yorveth. I forced you to flee.
And I let you live. You know I could have killed you. You're forgetting.
No, I remember. So Sheila was looking for you when she came to Flotsam.
Mm-hmm. She thought she was still in control and wanted to get rid of me. I'd bet my eyes that she thought I'd lost my mind, or that Yorveth was manipulating me.
And the North descended deeper into chaos.
Exactly. There was just one problem. You. I could have killed you in the Elven ruins. Thing is, you weren't really my enemy.
Shame you didn't take a shot at Henselt yourself. History might have taken a different turn.
Maybe I would have killed him. Maybe you would have killed me. Who knows? But Henselt's death, although desirable, wasn't necessary anymore. The plan could go forward without it. You killed Seret and Orcs. Damn shame as I see it. Two good witchers.
They were murderers, Letho, just like you. Don't change the subject.
Right. I was on my way to Loch Muin by that time. I had to prepare, inform that prune Shillard of the plan. Everything had to play out perfectly. There was no room for error.
I'm done talking. Let's finish this.
Want to fight?
vodka left in that bottle?
A swig apiece. Here. The Imperial army is probably crossing the Yaruga as we speak. Pure pandemonium will ensue. The North's finished. Time to go south, where the good life awaits.
You're a fool, Letho. Both you and your Emperor are forgetting one thing. Misfortune brings people together. Very shortly, the North could be united like never before, thanks to you. But that's just not my concern anymore.
I'm not your foe. I never was. Let me walk away and I will. You'll never see me again. Force me to fight, and this time I'll kill you.
I've learned all I wanted to know. I can feel the memories coming back. Your death won't change a thing. Go where you will.
Just like that? No threats? No words of wisdom?
You going or not?
Farewell, Geralt.
The Witcher had traveled far and wide in search of the Kingslayers. In Flotsam, he slew Bernard Laredo, but few mourned for the Commandant. Flotsam remained Temerian, while command of the garrison and town went to a Vizima noble, a sworn enemy of Kedwen and an avid angler. To this day, folk gather round bonfires in Lomondon to hear of the Witcher's deeds. The Witcher witnessed a great Kedweni victory in Edirn. At Vergen, Henselt's army crushed Saskia the Dragonslayer's motley force, ending the springtime of races. Soldiers of the Unicorn swarmed over the Pontar Valley. As it had before, powerful Kedwen swallowed Upper Edirn whole. Yet subsequent events would render Henselt's triumph short-lived. Dark clouds had been gathering over Temeria since Foltest's death. Stripped of its king, the land was like a rich cloth which nobles began to shred. These minor scavengers, however, scurried off in fear when true predators reached out for their prize. The summit at Loch Muin sealed the fate of Foltest's realm, when Radovid of Redania and Henselt of Kedwen divided it between them. Years before, Geralt of Rivia had witnessed the fall of the Council and Conclave of Mages. The summit in Loch Muin re-established both bodies, their founders sacrificing Sheila de Tanzerville and her accomplices. Yet Radovid also required humility and loyalty from the proud mages, but this did not sit well with all of them. It was a time of great uncertainty. of rape accomplished by royal decree. Yet as troubled as the day seemed, we, who had in some way shaped the world's fate, finally received some respite. Zoltan resumed the quest for his beloved's hand, and I laid my head in the laps of the muses. Who could have known this tempest which had ravaged the north was but a harbinger of darker days, and the preamble to an entirely new tale of Geralt of Rivia.
Witchen, or Witchers, an elite and mysterious caste of warrior monks. In popular lore, they're portrayed as possessing magic powers and superhuman abilities. Witchers were believed to combat evil spirits, ghastly monsters, and all manner of dark forces. It's possible that Witchers had animal eyes, which granted them sight in near darkness, rendering survival probable in encounters with fiends both subterranean and nocturnal, kobolds, vampires, and ghouls. Witchers used their silver swords to kill creatures of magic provenance, wraiths, cursed souls, and striggers. With their swords of meteorite steel, they felled non-magic beasts, and the occasional human who refused to pay for services rendered. In combat, Witchers would go into a trance, induced, it's supposed, through self-hypnosis or the consumption of intoxicants. They fought with blind abandon, sensing absolutely no pain, ignoring even serious injuries, which fed fears and superstitions about their unearthly powers. There is little doubt that Witchers were perceived to be vile beings who could bring misfortune down upon common folk with their gaze alone. The heroes of fairy tales and other yarns, Witchers entered the folklore of the Nordlings. This is true of one especially, Geralt the Riv, known as the White Wolf. Listen now to one of the legends about him.